Okay, let's do a couple of examples relating to vertical angles and adjacent angles. So this comes right out of your textbook. So we've got this diagram below. So looks a little bit different than the one that I just did in the example. The first question says list two pairs of adjacent angles. There are a lot of adjacent angles here, but it's only asking you to list two of them. So you could say angle 1 and angle 2, those are adjacent. You'd say angle 1 and angle 2. You could also say angle 4 and angle 5, those are adjacent. Angle 2 and angle 3, angle 3 and angle 4. Basically, any two angles that are right next to each other are considered adjacent. So there are a lot of different options here. Those are just a couple of them. Okay, now it says list all pairs of vertical angles. The important thing to remember here is that vertical angles have the exact same measure. So vertical angles not only have to be across from each other in an X, but they have to look the same. So vertical angles, angle 1 and angle 3, they're on opposite sides of that V, so those are going to be considered vertical angles. So angle 1, or they're across from each other in that big X. Angle 1 and angle 3 are vertical angles, okay? That is the only pair that are vertical angles. 2 is not a vertical angle with 5, nor is it a vertical angle with 4 because there's this line in between 4 and 5. So the only pair of vertical angles are 1 and 3 because they are the exact same measure, okay? All right, here is another problem. Let's see if I can show this without everything crashing down in my makeshift document camera. If angle 1 and angle 3 are the same measure, which we know that that's true because they are vertical angles, what is the value of x? So if they are the exact same measure, I know that angle 3 is 90 degrees and angle 1 is 9 times x. So in order to figure out what the value of x is, I'm going to make these equal to each other. 90, which is angle 3, is equal to 9x, which is angle 1. I kind of wrote it backwards. I could write it the other way. It's going to be the exact same thing. All right, then we just use our algebra skills to solve this. We divide by 9, and the value of x is 10. All right, easy peasy lemon squeezy. All right, let's look at a couple more examples. Again, let's see if I can adjust this without everything crashing down. All right, here we go. So this is practice and problem solving. You might have some questions that look very similar to this in your practice and problem solving that you do in the Pearson book for this lesson. It says list each angle adjacent to angle W. So we want to look at which ones are next to angle W, next to it. Well, there's two of them, right? Angle X and angle Z. So we would say angle X is adjacent, they're next door to each other, and angle Z. All right? Those are its next door neighbors. Which one is vertical? It doesn't ask you this, but which two are vertical angles? I'm just going to make a note that angle W and angle Y are vertical. So here's vertical angles. There's the little symbol for vertical angles. W and Y are vertical. Angle X and angle Z are vertical. But W and X are adjacent. W and Z are adjacent. That's this question. All right. On number 8, it says list two pairs of adjacent angles. So two pairs of adjacent angles, we could say angle KOL is adjacent to angle LOM. Those guys are next door to each other, right? And then the other pair is going to be angle LOM is also adjacent with angle MON. Yeah, man, they're adjacent. Okay, there we go. Hopefully there aren't any questions on that. I'm going to take a pause and come right back and do some problems that have to do with finding missing angle measures.